knows a lot about the science stuff. Professor Dave explains.
Continuing with reptiles, it's time to examine their diversity. Excluding the birds, the 4 orders of extant reptiles are Squamata, Crocodilia, Testudines, and Rhynchocephalia. In this tutorial, we will cover 3 of these orders, those that include the Tuatara, Crocodilians, and turtles. Members of Testudines are collectively known as turtles, without taxonomic distinction, and their common name varies by region. Formally, they are sometimes referred to as chelonians, and are easily distinguished from the other reptilian orders by protective shells comprised of a dorsal carapace and ventral plastron. The shell is made of bone and forms from the expansion and fusion of the ribs and vertebrae, and is overlaid by scales of keratin. This shell can vary greatly by species, from the hinged shells of the eastern box turtle, to the thick armor of the Galapagos giant tortoises, to the scootless soft-shell turtles, to the highly modified shells of the 7 extant species of sea turtles, the largest of which, and the largest of all extant turtles, is the leatherback sea turtle, the largest verified specimen of which measured nearly 7 feet, or 213 centimeters, and weighed about 1,400 pounds, or 650 kilograms. But even that is only about half the size of the largest fossilized turtle known, Achelon, which measured over 15 feet, or 4.6 meters, from head to tail, and likely weighed between 2.2 and 3.5 tons. Speaking of fossil forms, some of them, such as the 260 million year old Unatosaurus, along with the 240 million year old Papachelles and its descendants, provide insight into the evolution of the shell and also solidify the turtles as diapsids, since the latter had 2 temporal fenestra, an ancestral characteristic shared by the diapsids. Moving on, modern turtles are grouped into 14 extant families that are found in many parts of the world, except for the coldest oceans and some of the most rugged terrain. Most species show little to no parental care, though some engage in elaborate courtship displays, and gravid females almost always dig a nest to bury their eggs. Turtles display temperature-dependent sex determination since they lack sex chromosomes, and those incubated at lower temperatures produce higher ratios of males, while those incubated at higher temperatures produce higher ratios of females, though the precise ratios and temperatures for sex determination vary by species. Extant forms are classified first into 2 suborders, the side-necked turtles of Pleurodira and the hidden-necked turtles of Cryptodira. The side-necked turtles are often considered a more ancestral form and include species like the eastern side-necked turtle and the mata-mata, while the hidden-necked turtles include the majority of all extant turtle species, over 200 species divided into 11 families, which can further be broken down into the soft-shell turtles, such as the pig-nosed turtle and Indian flapshell turtle, and the hardshell turtles, such as the Aldabra giant tortoise, alligator snapping turtle, black-knobbed map turtle, and common musk turtle, along with the 7 species of sea turtles of superfamily Chelonioidea. Perhaps unsurprisingly, more than half of all Testudines species are considered to be threatened or endangered. By some estimates, they are one of the most, or perhaps the most, endangered of all vertebrate orders. In fact, they are among some of the first animals to be widely recognized as vulnerable to human activities. Charles Darwin himself, in the 19th century, worked to conserve the Aldabra giant tortoise, though he also famously ate quite a good deal of the now endangered Galapagos giant tortoises that helped inspire his concept of natural selection. This is an interesting trend when it comes to turtles. In some parts of the world, it is perfectly legal to capture, kill, and eat endangered species, while some areas put a huge deal of funding towards recovering declining species, some of which have showed remarkable increase in recent years. Next up, Order Crocodilia includes the Crocodilians, which are, along with the birds, the only extant archosaurs on Earth. They are typically solitary animals that are easily recognized by their solidly built lizard-like bodies with elongated, flattened snouts, reduced limbs, and laterally compressed tails. Like the birds, and unlike other reptiles, they have a 4-chambered heart and a unidirectional looping system of airflow within the lungs, though they are ectotherms like all other reptiles. An additional crocodilian adaptation, otherwise found only in the mammals, is their secondary palate that allows them to breathe when their mouth is filled with water or food. In addition to these adaptations, the crocodilians also have conical, peg-like teeth and a powerful bite, and though they are often sit-and-wait predators, they can swim rapidly rapidly and for long distances, while some smaller species are even capable of galloping on land. Like the turtles, the crocodilians display temperature-dependent sex determination. It was long thought that crocodilian sex determination was precisely opposite that of the turtles, meaning that lower temperatures produce more females and higher temperatures produce more males. However, it turns out there is actually a third pattern of sex determination confirmed in only a few select species, such as the estuarine crocodile, where climatic conditions below 30 degrees Celsius and above 34 degrees Celsius exclusively promote the production of female embryos, and males are only produced within the narrow range in between. Like the turtles, the crocodilians lack sex chromosomes, and the precise temperatures that shift ratios of males and females differ by species. Also, unlike nearly all other reptiles, the crocodilians are notable for their often extreme form of parental care. Though males provide no parental care whatsoever, and may even cannibalize their own offspring, females will often guard nests, help young hatch, carry them to the water, allow them to feed off of her own kills, and often protect them for up to 2 years or more after hatching, even defending them from larger males and sometimes their own father. They often do this with precise and gentle jaw movements, and by transporting their young in their mouths or buccal cavities where they are safest. But the amount of parental care does vary by species and individual, where some females have been known to defend their young to the death, while others abandon nests if larger predators approach. This parental care is often considered to be essential because though the adults of many crocodilians have few if any predators except for humans, and some are apex predators in their ranges, as eggs they are highly sought after by mammalian omnivores, and as juveniles their only defense is to chirp, which they can also do from inside their eggs if they're having trouble hatching, in an attempt to alert their mothers to their predicament. Interestingly, adults also give warning calls to juveniles to alert them to predators or potential food. In addition to parental care, the crocodilians are also noted for their extremely low species count, even though their lineage has existed for over 250 million years, and their morphology has changed little in over 80 million years. Their extant forms, while large, do not match that of their extinct forms, like the 325-foot-long Deinosuchus. Extant species are found primarily in tropic regions around the world and are split into 3 families. First, Alligatoridae, the alligators and caimans, members of which can be recognized by the broad snout, in which the 4th tooth of the lower jaw cannot be seen when the mouth is closed, such as the American alligator, spectacled caiman, and black caiman. Then Crocodilidae, the true crocodiles, which display a variety of snout shapes, but can be recognized because the 4th tooth of the lower jaw is visible when the mouth is closed, such as the American crocodile, Cuban crocodile, and mugger crocodile. And finally, Gavialidae, which are easily recognized by their long, narrow snouts with an enlarged bump at the tip that includes just the gharial and the false gharial. Next, Rhynchocephalia includes a range of extinct forms and a single extant species, known as the tuatara, that is found only in New Zealand, where they were once widespread, but now survive solely on the small islets of Cook Strait and off the northeast coast of the North Island, due to human introduction of invasive species such as cats, rats, dogs, and goats that preyed upon the native species and their eggs, or otherwise outcompeted them. Morphologically, they appear to be medium-sized lizards, though they are not actually lizards at all. They are, however, grouped with modern lizards as part of Lepidosauria, though they are placed as the sister clade to the lizards and snakes of order Squamata. They are notable for their slow reproduction rates, taking 10 to 20 years to become sexually mature, low fecundity, producing eggs only once every 4 years and eggs taking 7 months to hatch, as well as longevity and ability to reproduce at an advanced age. For example, Henry, a captive tuatara in Invercargill, New Zealand, is possibly the world's oldest tuatara, whose age is estimated to be 120 and 150, and Henry reproduced in 2009 with a female in her 70s to produce viable offspring. In addition to longevity, they are also notable in their features that closely resemble extinct forms that lived 200 million years ago, thus providing an example of one of the slowest rates of morphological evolution in the vertebrates. And that concludes our summary of the least diverse of the reptilian orders. Let's move forward and examine what is arguably the most biodiverse of all chordate orders, Squamata.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Support me on Patreon so I can keep making content. And as always, feel free to email me, ProfessorDaveExplains@gmail.com.